Hey everyone, today I want to share a bizarre and unsettling experience from my time working in the sheriff's department. My partner and I are part of a unit that deals with tethers or ankle monitors, and one night, things took a seriously strange turn. We were on the lookout for someone who had absconded from the program, and our investigation led us to a somewhat shady area in our county. What unfolded that night was anything but routine and left us with an eerie feeling from the get-go. Approaching a house, my partner knocked on the front door, and I positioned myself on the side, keeping a watchful eye. The door opened to reveal a middle-aged woman who, rather oddly, looked directly at me, even though I wasn't visible from any window. Most people would answer the front door, not scrutinize the side of the house first. Asking about Camille, the person we were searching for, the woman mumbled something about her presence. What followed was a sudden escalation, with the woman dropping to her hands and knees, crawling on the floor, and yelling for Camille. It became evident that she had some mental health issues, and we suspected Camille might be a caretaker. Undeterred, we started searching the house, but the strange vibes persisted. The woman continued her peculiar behavior, crawling on the floor, never getting back on her feet, and seemingly following us silently. The atmosphere inside the house was odd too, dimly lit, no electronics, and a layout that left me disoriented, like entering a dimensional gap. Things took a turn for the uncanny when we reached the upstairs. A door that seemed sealed at first revealed an attic, not bedrooms. It resembled a scene from Paranormal Activity, with insulation and an old-style light bulb hanging from the ceiling. After what felt like an eternity of searching, we decided to call it a night. As we left, the woman was standing by the door, staring at us. The unsettling part? We were only there for 20 minutes, but the entire experience felt like hours. Whether it was the late-night hour, the lady yelling Camille's name, her unexpected appearances, or her silent stare as we left, the entire encounter left us deeply unsettled. To this day, we haven't returned to that house, and the mysteries surrounding that night linger in our memories. Stay tuned for more strange tales from the field.
Hello, everyone. Today, I want to share a haunting and tragic story that unfolded in the middle of Georgia. It's a story that left my cousin, a police officer we'll call Bob, deeply affected and haunted by the grim scene he encountered. Bob, full of optimism and a desire to make a positive impact, responded to an alert about a house between Macon and Roberta. It was a place that many believed was abandoned, setting the stage for an unsettling discovery. Upon arrival, Bob and another officer found an older gentleman sitting on the steps outside, visibly distressed. He was sobbing and muttering incomprehensibly. Despite attempts to question him, the man was incoherent, signaling some deep trauma. While awaiting backup, Bob, with gun drawn, decided to enter the house. The stench inside was overpowering, indicating a house in disarray. Pots, pans, and spoiled food cluttered the kitchen and living room, revealing the owners were hoarders. Bob, heart-pounding, called out but received only silence. As he moved through the house, the smell intensified. Bracing himself, Bob opened the door to what seemed like the bedroom. There, on the bed, lay two corpses, gray-skinned and infested with flies. A male and female, their faces decomposing, and in the female's arms, a lifeless infant. The gruesome scene became unbearable when a cockroach crawled out of the infant's mouth. Overwhelmed, Bob rushed outside, vomiting on the very steps the distressed man had been sitting on. When backup arrived, a former co-worker of the deceased couple, he shared a harrowing tale. The couple, once colleagues at a peach packing company, had fallen into opioid addiction after a previous operation. Their neglect resulted in the tragic death of their daughter, pushing them to take their own lives with a fatal dose of heroin. The aftermath left Bob deeply scarred, leading to struggles with alcohol and persistent nightmares. Therapy has helped him manage the trauma, but the image of that innocent child's corpse continues to haunt his dreams. Stay tuned for more stories, and remember to be kind to one another.
Hey folks, I've got a gripping story from my time on duty.
I received a call about a possible breaking and entering, a young woman living alone fearing for her safety. She had discovered a broken window downstairs and thought she heard footsteps after going to bed. The situation took an unexpected turn, and here's how it all unfolded. Arriving at the house, my attempts to contact the resident went unanswered. Concerned for her safety, I decided to inspect the premises. I discovered a busted window large enough for easy access. With my heart racing, I announced my presence as a police officer and entered through the window. Once inside, I cautiously moved through the kitchen, my boots crunching on shattered glass. Despite shouting to identify myself, I heard no response. The caller had mentioned hearing footsteps downstairs, so I proceeded upstairs. As I reached the bedroom, a soft voice confirmed the woman's presence. In the dimly lit room, I noticed her distressed expression. Questioning her about the unanswered calls, she stammered, revealing an unsettling truth. I subtly signaled towards the hiding spots, and her responses hinted at an intruder beneath the bed. The weight of the situation pressed heavily. Thinking on my feet, I handed her a report form, asking her to sign it, claiming that everything was normal. As she approached, I quickly pushed her out of the room, drawing my gun and commanding the intruder to reveal himself. A middle-aged man emerged from under the bed, complying with hands up. The arrest was swift, and as I brought him outside, fellow officers arrived. The woman had cleverly hung up during the call to prevent the intruder from hearing the police approaching. Faced with a life-threatening situation, she had played it smart, ensuring the safety of everyone involved.
Hey everyone, today I want to share a chilling encounter that happened a couple of years ago. It was late at night, and I was on my way home from work. The roads were eerily quiet, and I had about 10 more minutes before reaching home when things took a strange turn. Out of nowhere, I noticed flashing lights behind me from what appeared to be a police car. Feeling a bit uneasy, I slowed down and pulled over to the side of the road. My heart started racing as I couldn't figure out why I would be pulled over. My tabs were up to date, and my car seemed in proper working condition. As the police car parked behind me, I realized it looked like one of the older models, a Ford Crown Victoria, not commonly used anymore. After a minute or so, a man got out of the car and approached mine. However, something immediately felt off. He wasn't wearing a police uniform, just a black shirt and pants, sunglasses, and a cap. He walked over to my passenger side window, and when I rolled it down, he instructed me to get out of my car. This request caught me off guard, and I asked for the reason. He didn't provide one, and insisted I step out. Growing more suspicious, I questioned if he was a real police officer, especially without a uniform. He got annoyed, claiming I probably wanted his badge number and supervisor details. I clarified that I simply wanted confirmation of his identity and a reason to exit my vehicle. As the tension escalated, I reached for my phone on the center console, intending to dial 911. The man tried to stop me, banging on my window, but I stood my ground. I started dialing 911, and he backed away, seemingly unfazed. He retorted that I was making things difficult, then walked back to his car. As my call went through, he made a sudden U-turn, turned off his flashing lights, and sped off in the opposite direction. I waited for a real police officer to arrive before sharing the bizarre incident. Turns out, the man who pulled me over was likely a fake cop. I count myself lucky to have avoided whatever his intentions were, and I'm grateful I didn't step out of my car. It's a situation I'm glad I don't have to unravel.